this idea was some people are better than others, and that wasn't power evenly distributed like a democracy.
Yeah, I mean it's true. Some people are better than others.
That's the right. That means you're right wing.
That makes you a conservative, yeah.
Not a conservative, right?
That makes you right wing. Yeah.
So Michael Malice, obviously.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So he asked me. He's like, the new right. How do you define what left and right is? And he asked, do you think some people are better than others?
Yeah.
And I was like, yes. And he goes, okay.
I think
that's
some
right.
people are doing better than other people, but I don't think that they're just better. Like if someone was born into my situation, they'd be literate, and I'd be illiterate.
You're way overthinking it. So he said the left gives you a speech. The right would say yes.
I'm obviously on the left
because I said the saying yes is the correct answer. Some people are really tall and they can play basketball really well, and so what we mean by better doesn't. If we're just speaking in general terms, there's a chess grandmaster, and there's a guy who can't win at all.
Right.
So clearly these things exist. Some people are better than others. Even if it's just one or two people who are better at playing chess than most other people, then some people are.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how Michael defines separating the.
Yeah, I'm a C-level chess player, and there's definitely better people.
Yeah, dude. That's crazy.
So that makes you right wing. That's interesting.
But what's interesting too is I think there's a lot of people that are better than me at like basically everything.
So there's basically idealism versus realism.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's it.
That's basically what the conversation comes down to, and that's the problem. There's no balance available.
Well, do you think that there should be an element of government that is better men? And I use men figuratively. I mean people.
The best type of government is no government.
Yeah, I should have figured you'd say something like that.
Yeah. No government. You gotta let. What about what?
What about like fire departments and police departments?
I like thinking about when the Irish created the first fire departments in Boston and in Philadelphia. And originally they created fire departments because they were actually creating fires.
That sounds like us.
And they were fighting for so-called equality. So a lot of those things popped up independently and were funded independently. I think those are great community things that can happen that don't need government intervention. I think that there are people in this world who know their destiny, know their value, and will do a lot of things for free. There are some people who would die to be a nurse and never take a cent and feel some type of way. They just enjoy doing that. People are just built like that. So I think things like, fire departments are easy to come by.
Isn't that idealistic though?
No, that's realistic.
You know the shopping cart problem? You ever hear this one?
What's that?
So they say the shopping cart corral is the perfect test for whether or not humans can self-govern. You go to the supermarket, you get a shopping cart, you go to your car, you got the shopping cart next to your car. It takes almost no time to put the shopping cart in the corral, but you don't get anything for it.
Right.
You know it's the right thing to do,
Yeah.
but still people will just leave their shopping cart right there in the middle of the lot and just get in their car and leave. And so the idea is you could do the right thing for no reward that doesn't really affect you at all, 10 seconds, but people still choose not to do it.
People in America choose to do it.
Choose not to do it?
Choose not to do it, right?
Yeah.
You could pull another culture out and you'd see something completely different.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's something to say about the level of human consciousness in America and the Western world, the graduation of the ego, right? And it's at a very low state at this point. So when you have people who exist in this system, and time is of the essence in America, right? And a lot of that has to do with that 30% that get taken out of your check.
Regarding the fire department, I feel like it's kind of a specialized job. You got to train and learn how to do it and carry the weight and all that. What it takes to go into a building, fight the fire, and it takes time, a lot of time. So if they weren't getting paid, they might not be able to support their lives. If it was a private company, you look at like the Roman fire departments, Pompey's fire department. He had the first fire department that we know of. And he would go, if the building was on fire, go outside with his fire department and say, pay me. And he'd extort the people, and the people would be like, no, I'm not going to pay you. And then he just let their building burn down.
Yeah.
The original fire departments, I think, used to buy an emblem, and you'd put the emblem on your house.
Okay.
And then when the fire call was called in, they'd come and they'd see the emblem and say, okay,
That's like a
you're a
guild or
subscriber.
something, yeah.
You're talking about a level of low conscious human beings, right? You wouldn't have that in some ancient societies. You wouldn't have that problem. You just have a fire department. Those people would be taken care of.
You know what's interesting? I was reading.
They might get paid. Have we tried private fire departments in a local town and what that looks like? And is it possible if we didn't have to pay 30%, that we'd pay maybe 10% to go to some of those services, and those would go directly to those services.
Oh, I'm so into that,
and those
Yeah.
people might actually get paid
You've
more
done it. You've
than what
turned-
the government is giving them.
You've turned Ian into an anarchist.
I think we
That's
should
true.
build an app where you get to pick where your taxes go on a sliding bar. And if
Yeah.
you wanted to slide like 17% to the fire department, I want to slide 13% to the police department. And you might have minimums, like you have to put at least 2% into each of these.
but
And then you get to pick. And
Yeah.
you'll see like the voluntarism kick in.
But
Yeah.
why not? Why not? How about then I add? I want the taxes to go to my skate park.
So when you would put your skate park, it'd be like Tinder. You'd be like, hey, I'm Tim Pool. I want to build a skate park. People would be like, oh, I like that. I'm going to swipe right and add that to my list of
Crowdfunding.
things that I can fund.
Yeah.
But
And
then why
when
not
you go in,
just-
I'll be like, I'm going to give 2% of my taxes to Tim's skate park.
But then how about we just take Hotep's path and say you can't get any of my 30% at all, and just keep it all, right?
Yeah, so you should have that option too.
Just put it in your pocket. And if I
Yeah.
want money to go to a skate park, I'll show up at your skate park and give you money.
Yeah.
I think, man, I'm not a big fan of government authority. I think a lot of it's arbitrary. I've seen a lot of the arbitrary authority put in action, and a lot of people that play a popularity contest to get the keys to the castle to have that authority.
Yeah.
But I still think, I'm not an anarchist. I probably would be, idealistically, I'm like left libertarian, and then realistically, I'm like probably just a liberal. Probably just like I think we need some kind of mixed economy, some kind of mixed system.
I think we should take all them terms and throw them in the trash.
Why is that?
Because listen to what you just said. You said when it comes to this, I'm this. When it comes to that, I'm
Oh
that.
yeah, but
right?
I can explain it.
Right, but let's just talk about each issue and say what our views are and not label it,
All right.
right? Because then with those labels come preconceived notions.
I think one of the challenges is that you look at the Brooklyn Bridge. So I'm not a historian on the Brooklyn Bridge, but my understanding is that it was put together by a corporation to build this bridge.
Right.
Then you're trying to figure out how to compensate everybody, and so you have this, this corporation originally, my understanding, was supposed to dissolve after it was done.
Yeah.
It
like,
come-
yeah,
yeah,
like
it-
toll roads, yeah.
Yeah, it exists. But then the bridge comes to exist forever. What do we do? Do we put up a toll for the bridge forever? I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm asking like a legit, serious question.
Well, allegedly, the fee that we paid through tolls was supposed to be used to build the bridge, and I believe there was a budget set aside to maintain the bridge afterwards, right?
Well, for sure.
And then they saw how much revenue was coming in,
Right.
and they said, "Why would we stop this money coming in? Look at this."
But so ignoring the, there
Yeah.
you go. That's the first problem with government corruption.
Right? Yeah. So
Why kill the golden goose? We're going to keep the money.
Yeah. So what's the next part to it?
So, well, I guess is the solution then we keep the bridge under a private corporation and then just have them run it with their interest only in that bridge or whatever.
Who built the bridge?
I think the Brooklyn Bridge was built by like the Brooklyn Bridge Corporation or something like that.
Okay.
I could be wrong. It's like I was reading a plaque outside of the Brooklyn Bridge or something.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a really tough question, right? The capitalist in me says the corporation should own it, and they should be able to dictate who can cross it and who can't. And if you don't like their rules, don't go to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
That's what Vanderbilt did with his railroads. But then when he wanted to stop shipping food into New York, he cut them off and starved a bunch of people.
That's usually.
Oh, they also did that with coal and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what happens is they nationalize it. That sounds like exactly what happens,
But then they also do things like make growing hemp illegal.
Right.
Yeah.
Yup.
They make things like collecting rainwater is illegal.
Yep.
Well, the collecting.
I wouldn't need your shipment of food if you let me grow my own.
Well, the rainwater thing in some contexts makes sense.
Yeah.
Because like if in certain areas, like in suburban neighborhoods, there's rules about not collecting rainwater and having it run off. Otherwise, you need like a certain amount of. It's just like about maintaining the environment for everybody that are
Yeah.
living really close together.
Yeah.
But in a lot of places, it makes literally no sense. So the bigger issue, I think, is rules that are made for cities that affect people who don't live anywhere near them.
Well, let me ask you this. Let's go back to the railroad, right? Who's gonna protect the railroad?
In general, the police, I think, or
Okay, police work for who?
federal, whoever, local or federal.
All right. So if we remove them, who gonna protect Vanderbilt from the people after he starve them?
He'd have to hire.
Oh, you see what I'm saying? That's why
hire
that's
private
why
military.
government shouldn't be there, because what they do is these corporations set up, and then they pay the government to protect them,
Being
Yup.
protected, yeah.
Well, you
and then they have the most elite security force on the planet. That's why you get rid of government.
check it out. You know what
mercenaries.
Walmart does,
Yeah,
right?
even better, huh?
I don't know.
Walmart
that's bad.
tells their employees, or there was I don't know if this was a widespread thing, but I remember reading about how Walmart told their employees, if you can't afford to work here, go on food stamps. So like you hired people and you're telling them to get government benefits to subsidize their lives.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I'm not.
And then when
I'm
you
not.
apply, they tell you you make too much.
One more time.
When you apply for some of these
Right.
government assistance,
Yeah,
they
you
tell
make
you
too
you make
much,
too
yeah.
much.
But it's kind of crazy to me that you have these big corporations where they're like, we're going to hire you. We pay this much. And if you can't afford it, too bad. Go ask the government for a subsidy. If the
Yeah.
government didn't provide that, they'd say it doesn't exist. You have to
Right.
pay more money.
Yeah.
So the fact that the government offers it up actually allows these big, massive corporations to undercut the lower class, the working class.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to know something crazy? There's progressives that say they want a lot of things. They want 4-day work week, right?
Okay.
They want shorter days. They want paid vacation, and they want it implemented through policy. And do you know how some of these things started getting implemented?
How?
It wasn't policy. It was Donald Trump. The economy was booming, and then all of a sudden we started seeing a bunch of companies say, we're going to reduce hours, same salary, but now you only work 32. We're going to give you paid vacation because the economy was doing so well. So the fact that there was just a good economy resulted in a lot of these things that improved people's living.
Yeah, I just feel like you just let companies compete for employees. And, if this company is treating their employees better, then they compete like that and say, hey, look, I heard they're giving 4 days over here. I want to apply for a job there, right? And then it changes the culture.
You know what the problem is?
That's what I'm interested in.
I think the problem is schools. More government, I guess, is the problem, I
For
suppose.
sure, yeah.
Schools are definitely maybe the number one problem, along with, school and media are kind of like one, because that's the brainwashing, the indoctrination unit.
So you mentioned make the businesses compete for employees, right?
Yeah.
But what happens when the people don't understand any of these concepts and just sit there saying, why am I broke, and don't do anything about it? So I know a bunch of people that go to school and they think the only way to survive is to get a job.
Yeah.
As if the employer is the supplier of money. As if the employer makes money appear out of thin air to give to you. You can make money too, same as them.
Yeah, that's just one of those things where do as I say. Watch. How do you say it? Do as I do, not as I say.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah. No. Actually, that's not what I was
Rules for thee, but not for me.
No, just watch me do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Watch me do it, and then people will emulate, right? Because you can talk to somebody and say, hey, you should be an entrepreneur all day. That don't mean they're going to be an entrepreneur, but when they see you do it, they go, oh wait, I think I can do that.
Yeah, lead by example.
Dude,
Thank you.
Yeah,
Lead by example. That's what I say. I don't try to convince people we're not being an entrepreneur. They just see how I'm living, and they're like, yo, how do you do that? And I tell them, and I say, join my Saturday course and my Saturday class, or I'll mentor you during the week. But you just got to be that example. That's the problem out here. We're doing too much talking.
Yeah, not enough doing.
Yeah, not enough doing. Hotep and build.
I'm pretty concerned with private military.
Yeah.
If I talk about state and the value of the state.
Yeah.
Because
Or taxes and where they go.
Well, that definitely. That's crazy that you don't know where your taxes are going. But up until the 1400s, there was all mercenary warfare pretty much.
Okay.
And it was one mercenary company would go burn down a village, and then they'd get hired by the people to go defend the village that they, burned down. And then, so it's just a constant chaos. And then they developed standing armies to prevent mercenary overtakes. So we're basically in a world of standing armies now that are funded by taxpayers.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid that if we go back to mercenaries, it would be corporate chaos.
No, we'd just get the same thing we have now, but except you and I would be able to form a militia or become mercenaries.
But I don't want to be in a militia right now.
Well, that's you.
Just right now, though.
That's
Maybe
you.
later?
There's people in Arizona training right now.
I want people to protect me. That's as their
That's who you
specialized
want.
job.
That's who you want protecting
Well,
you.
I like specialization, and I
Yeah.
want to focus my energy into creating content, thought stuff, and then have someone else carry the guns, have someone else growing the crops.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
You ever heard the statement about I'd rather be a warrior in the garden and a gardener in the war? Yeah. Okay. So my point is, do you want the government to have a monopoly on violence or not? Because as it is, the only people that's allowed to do this stuff are governments.
The
Or
United
rich
States
people.
government is
Rich
good
people.
because we're allowed to form standing militias
Dude.
as part of our own government.
Yeah.
You know that private security, they'll shove a cop for you if you pay the right price.
Yes.
We've talked about this quite a bit. You can watch videos where there's some dude is doing something. The cops walk up to him, start yelling, and then two bodyguards shove the cops down because those bodyguards are like, these guys have so much money, they will buy that police department out. You will not arrest me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
These cops who get paid 30, 40K coming up and messing with a guy who's worth hundreds of millions or billions of dollars, and his private security they get paid, high six figures. They're going to be like, I don't care.
That's the life.
They're going to take care of my family if I go to jail. Knock the cop down.
Yeah, that's the
crazy.
life. That's how
crazy.
you got to live out here, But I think there's a lot of people who could be trained to be armed security for the people. Lady talk about like police. You got a kid in high school who was the bully. Well, guess what? He's probably a natural guardian. He's probably a natural soldier. So let's put him in training and let's make him guardian in the community.
A bully, though?
A bully. You got to understand a bully has sometimes some psychological issues that maybe started as a youth. All he needs is a little bit of therapy and channel that energy into something good. A lot of times you have with disruptive kids is they're just not getting attention.
Yeah.
Right? And then, for example, there was this kid who was bad in school. And what the teacher used to do was she used to make him the volunteer. And all of a sudden the bad behavior disappeared. But it's because all the other teachers would ignore him, wouldn't let him volunteer, wouldn't let him be the one to sharpen the pencils or pass out the papers. But she made him a little helper, and now he's an A student.
Yeah.
It's about understanding human psychology, and people don't want to tackle that.
You know what I think, in response to what you were saying, Ian? I think you underestimate your ability. You should be responsible for... You should be a well-rounded person in every capacity. You should be able to defend yourself, protect yourself. You should be able to be the one who carries the gun. And you can focus on the things you're more passionate about. But I think, you wake up, you read, you exercise, you make sure you're well-rounded with your specialties. You can be a specialist in content creation. Doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to, carry heavy things.
But
or
you
carry
don't
a weapon.
farm.
No, I don't.
No, of course not. You're specialized.
Sort of, but I could farm.
I could farm too, but you don't, and I don't, because we're specialized, and that's because this sociological construct of the government allows us to be specialized.
But I actually like farming.
Well, I
had
like
chickens
doing a lot of
once.
stuff I don't do. But
You
yeah,
should do
great.
hydroponics.
Oh,
That
for
sounds
sure.
cool.
Yeah,
So
that's
into
some
that.
Yeah,
should
we had a garden at the last house.
You should just
You know.
set up like.
Well, that was mostly
Yeah,
You got the
Yeah,
you got
so-
the skate park popping up, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, skate park.
Yeah, so you need another building with just the hydroponics, man. That's
That'd
the
be
future.
sweet.
I
We,
totally
we,
agree.
we were thinking about doing that with the detached building we have, but it's there's no light, so we have to like figure out a way to do something with like a greenhouse, I guess. I don't
Yeah,
know.
greenhouse that bad boy. and
But
start-
dude, first of all, like I am all about self-sufficiency. You know what I mean? Like
but you
we're
can't-
almost off the grid in this place.
if you try and do everything, you'll end up coming up short in
I disagree.
most things.
There's
a reason we've
two
begun to
sayings.
specialize.
There's two sayings. It's an ancient Japanese saying: a person who tries to catch two rabbits will catch neither.
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's another saying that you may have heard: "Jack of all trades, master of none."
Yes.
Right? You've
Right.
heard
Yeah.
that. You
Yeah.
want to know what the real saying is?
What?
What's the rest
Jack of all trades, master of none, but every so often better than a master of one. That's the full saying. So
Yeah.
so it depends. In a culture of all specialists, yeah, that's what we've become, and we're hyper specialized now. It's like when it comes to building a computer, you've got like actually components and parts. You've got some people who specialize in one tiny aspect of like building the computer.
Right.
Someone focuses on like developing the plastics for the casings or whatever.
Right.
It used to be like way back in the day, the blacksmith was the guy who would like make the thing.
Right.
Now you've got added 1,000 different specialties to make that job done. That's actually allowed us to make crazy new technology and improve things. But I think there's still fundamentals that everybody should probably work on. Being fit, for instance, knowing how to use a gun, probably. I think these are important things. There's
Yeah,
like
that's
basic
part of-
necessities for life.
It's basic necessities for a man. It's like knowing how to change a tire.
Yeah. Yep. Just like simple things. Simple. And depending on how good you want to be at them, But I think, what I tell people? I tell people the one thing you can do right now is download a survival guide onto your phone. You might not never need
Yeah.
to use it,
Yeah.
I did
But-
that.
Yeah.
but then you
Absolutely. That's a good idea.
how many stories we heard about someone went for a walk and then they got lost in the woods.
Right.
So you pull up your phone and it'll say, "Oh, here's what I do." Okay, cool.
I
You
got a
survived.
wilderness survival merit badge in Boy Scouts. I'm good out here.
Perfect.
There you go, man.
Got this.
Right on.
I'm not like a sycophant for government daddy to take care of us, but
Uh-huh.
I value some of the safety that it provides, I guess,
You
or the
think it
freedoms.
provides safety?
Yeah, the freedom.
Like what?
Like if I go outside and someone wants to mug me,
They'll do that.
well, not if there's a police officer standing by.
That's I don't know. I
How,
don't know
what are
about-
the odds of that? And people get
I
their
don't know.
the
Depends
butt.
on where I am. If
People
I'm in
get their.
Times Square, for instance.
You ever seen Andy No get beat up in front of police?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yo.
Oh
Yeah.
no, not in front of police. I didn't see that.
Dude,
yeah.
dude. Do
Oh,
you
yeah.
see the video of the Trump supporters, the MAGA family?
Yeah.
They're trying to leave, and the cops stopped them and made them go into Antifa.
Yeah.
So look, I like I said, I think we need police. I think police serve a function. I'm not an anarchist or anything like that, but I absolutely have no problem criticizing the cops. We've had way too much this year of cops just enforcing these unconstitutional edicts from governors.
Yeah.
Instead of actually being there to help the people and protect them.
Yeah.
We had these gym owners by the old house in Jersey where they got arrested
Yeah.
for just working out in a building.
Yeah.
These cops didn't care.
I'm free to drive on the freeway without getting hit by speeding cars because
You want the car speeding.
No.
They say
They're
that
like
people tend to
bullets.
concentrate more when they speed.
Oh, they sure do.
But if people are going different
Most-
speeds,
I
that
love
would be
this
very
conversation.
dangerous.
Did you realize that most accidents are happening like within 5 minutes of your house?
I've heard that.
Yeah.
And like usually like not speeding.
Yeah, but that's because people aren't going 30 miles an hour differentials on the freeway because we have speed limits.
Usually people don't crash because people are speeding.
So people
That's
people
very-
don't drive the
that's a
speed
very
limit,
rare
bro.
thing.
People don't drive the speed limit.
They're either
And
above
then
most
or
part they do.
over.
And then
Under penalty of
You
law.
no, I mean the people always speed. They
People
always
go
speed.
over, yeah.
And then everybody
It's
speeds.
dangerous, dude.
Everybody goes 5-10
7
over.
miles an hour over, maybe. I think that's my personal
And then what
limit.
happens
Maybe
is-
I've
Yeah.
done 130 before.
It's so
Oof.
dangerous.
I've done 130 in a Honda
The
Accord
person- that's-
91.
1,000-pound
Holy
piece
cow.
of metal.
It's not a piece of metal.
The
though.
car?
The car isn't even metal. Them things is made
This
out of
is-
plastic now.
But listen.
If you had a Lincoln Town car from the 80s, then yeah, right?
Yeah,
So heavy.
that's you.
But you know,
So
my father
dangerous.
was military. He taught me how to drive. But you know, I took that bad boy down 280 doing 130 when I was like 18 years old. But your concentration, your focus is spiked. I just don't suggest doing that. And keep in mind. But I know how to drive really well. You need a driver, you holler at me. I'm real good at driving.
This
My
is-
brother is actually a race car driver.
Oh,
but-
This is
Sweet.
thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. So come back to check us out when we go live. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and we are also available on all podcast platforms for free if you want to listen to us there. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all next time.